I learned a language in under 7 days with these 6 tips. Keep listening to find out more. 안녕하세요, Cloud입니다. Hey guys, Cloud here. Today, I happened to stumble upon a video by Emily from My Language Paradise talking about. She had a post on a subreddit, a language learning subreddit, about. Basically, the title was "We need to talk about the language community," and some of the points that she makes is that a lot of times people are putting pressure on other people because you always see on YouTube, like, I learned, a language in 5 days, or you can learn a language in 3 months, or, follow these 6 tips to learn a language in -3 days, and some crazy expectations, always adding expectations to these kind of things, whereas they take away the whole purpose of learning a language, or not the purpose, but they take away the process, their journey. They're always focusing on the end goal, which is become fluent, become fluent, become fluent. But they never look at the process or the journey. And that's part of why I want to take you guys along with my Japanese learning journey, to show you that you don't have to achieve it within 6 months. You don't have to achieve it within 1 year. You don't have to achieve it within 10 years. You can take your time with it, and you can really enjoy it. I am really honestly enjoying my progression, my progress, my journey through Japanese. I really enjoyed my journey through Korean. Now, I had a different goal in mind with Korean, so I did it a little bit faster than I'm doing with Japanese. But with Japanese, I'm spending like straight up 6 months just doing input, not even beginning study, not even learning how to read hiragana or katakana, like not even looking at a single kanji. And that's okay. My goal isn't to become fluent within 6 months. My goal isn't to be able to give a press conference in Japanese. My goal is just, hey, this is a cool language that I want to learn, and it's something that interests me, and I enjoy listening and hearing and learning about the language, so I'm just going to take my time with it. I'm going to enjoy the process as long as possible. And when I reach my goal, sure, it's satisfying, but it's a different type of satisfaction. And we often confuse both of them together, whereas the journey and the destination are the same type of satisfaction, whereas sometimes you can extend the journey because you enjoy it so much, and when you reach the destination, things are going to change. It's going to be different. So that's one thing that she mentions about how she feels that everyone's just putting all this pressure of just learning 10 different languages in 5 different days, or just unrealistic expectations, and they're not being honest to where they are. They might say that they're fluent in 7 different languages, whereas they're not really fluent in all 7. They happen to learn 7 languages in 6 different, like each language 6 months. And that's, they can do whatever they please. They can say they're fluent, whether they're fluent or not, that's up for debate. Or maybe it's not. Maybe they feel that that's their definition of fluency. Regardless of all of that, once you start creating an environment where learning a new language is no longer a journey, it's no longer a process, it's no longer something to be celebrated, and the number of languages that the number of languages that you're fluent in is the metric that we're comparing people by. Oh, that person knows 7 languages. Well, he knows 10 languages, which means he must be better than the person who knows 7. And just considering fluency as the final achievement. Like, I will say I am not fluent in Korean, but I've reached the level where I can pretty much say what I want to say, and I don't feel the need to go any further, especially since I don't live there. I don't have friends, or I do have friends, but mainly through texting, and sometimes on a phone call. So I don't have the reason to go that extra mile, and that's fine. That's just my goal. When I teach Korean, I don't teach like super advanced level topics. I teach mainly beginners and sometimes intermediates, because that's what I can teach. I can't teach people who are my level or above. I can teach them how to learn, because that's one thing that I have a lot of experience. I can teach them how to teach and how to learn. But as for like the actual topics in Korean, that might not be my forte, and that's okay. It really is. You don't have to be fluent in 10 different languages. You can be okay in 10 different languages if that's your goal. You just want to communicate with people. We need to stop putting goals for other people. Oh, when did you reach fluency in this language? When did you reach fluency in that language? How long did it take you? That's not what's important. What's important is, what were your goals for learning this language? Why did you learn this language? What is it that drove you to this language, and did you achieve that? Maybe you really wanted to learn Korean because you wanted to watch K-dramas without subtitles. Can you do that now? If yes, how awesome is it? If no, what are you doing towards getting to that goal? And how are you enjoying your journey? Those are the type of questions we should be asking. And she also mentioned Emily from My Language Paradise. Also, the link to the video that I'm talking about is going to be in the description below. Another thing that she talks about is that she started putting pressure on herself. It's not just that other people are putting pressure. You can say, oh, well, you can stop listening to them. It's the fact that you want to be part of a community. And when you go to the community and you see that everybody is just talking about one thing and everyone expects something, well, then that's going to change your perception of what language learning is. Because if everyone around you is saying one thing, after a while it starts getting to you. And she started feeling that, people were telling her, oh, you're so good at this or you're so good at that. What's the next language that you're going to learn? And she started putting that pressure on herself that, hey, I can speak Italian. If I want to learn Spanish, I should be able to speak it fluently in 6 months. And maybe that's not her goal. Maybe that's an unrealistic expectation. Maybe it's realistic, but she just doesn't want to do that. We need to separate what other people are expecting and what we want to do. Unless you have a deadline where you're moving to a country within a year, then you can set that goal. But in general, we need to start focusing on the journey and look at the light at the end of the tunnel, see that there's a goal in mind, that there's an end destination, but realizing that the journey is just as important, if not sometimes even more important than than the destination. Because sometimes you have no idea what connections you're going to make during that journey. You have no idea who you're going to meet. You have no idea where you're going to go. It might completely change the destination while you're on your journey. You might realize that you have a different destination, and that's fine too. But we need to realize, and I've said this multiple times so far, that the journey is just as important as the destination, and we should really cherish and we should really spend as much time as we can, as we want to, during the journey, and not rush towards the destination, ignoring the fact that 90% of the satisfaction of learning a language is actually the journey. So that's all I had to say for today. Hope you guys enjoyed.